Hey peeps, welcome back to the newest episode of Just Ask the G.O.A.T with yours truly, Neira the G.O.A.T. If this is your first time listening, thank you so much. I hope that you enjoyed the podcast. If you're a returning guest, what's down, cousin? I'm so happy that you're back. Let's get into this week's episode.
Hey peeps, it's Neira, aka Neira the G.O.A.T, also known as your favorite manifesting cousin, and I'm back with a new episode of Just Ask the G.O.A.T podcast. This week we are getting into The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. This book is a spiritual path to higher creativity. It is a 12-week course and workbook, and we are going to be discussing just the intro and the outline of the book today. So if you have ever been or felt like you're stuck in your creativity, or you are a naturally creative person and you feel like you have all these ideas that you just want to get out but you just don't know where to start, or if you've been on this journey for a while and you find yourself doubting your creativity, or you feel like it's betrayed you or it's not making you enough money, this is the perfect workbook to help you get past all of those fears, all of those frustrations, and you got your favorite manifesting cousin right here as your coach and accountability partner. And so yeah, we're gonna get into it. As I mentioned on last week's episode, I actually purchased this book in July of 2023. I was in a bit of a transitional period. I stopped working for Kaleidoscope. I think it had probably been about a year since I had been working for Kaleidoscope, and I was on to what is next, or trying to figure out what is next for me. And let me just give this disclaimer. You see how it says a spiritual path to higher creativity? Right there, spiritual path to higher creativity, baby. Let me tell you, after I did week one's exercise on the way home from Starbucks, writing out my heart and soul, uncovering traumas and everything else, baby, I got in a car accident. So I just want to give you a forewarning, like, I don't know what's gonna come of it. It could be something totally great, and I'm still trying to figure out if the car accident that I got into in 2023 was all a part of me getting on another timeline or shifting me to my highest timeline. Sometimes I feel like it is, sometimes I'm not too sure, but here we are. Here we are. We're alive and well, and we're here to tell a story. This book is going to help to uncover so many things that you did not know were lying dormant in your subconscious mind, in your creative toolbox. And I am super excited to re-embark on this journey with you all, and I hope that you guys grab the book, or if not, do your best to follow along with me as I get through each week. I want to start off by first saying that in the intro of this book, Julia Cameron does mention that she believes that our creativity comes from God. Our creativity comes from the highest, the creator of all creators. Now, I wanted to put a disclaimer. I understand that everybody doesn't believe in God. I'm not here to convince you to believe in God. She's not here to convince you to believe in God. But we are asking that you acknowledge that there is a higher power greater than all of us, that it is through that power that we are able to access our creativity as humans. And if you don't want to fall in line with that, that's completely fine. These are not the exercises for you. And if calling the creator God is not your forte, call God something else. If that makes you happy, do what makes you happy, but don't call it something that you don't believe, because you're gonna need your faith and your belief in order to get through these 12 weeks. On the other side, if you feel like this is something that interests you, I'm going to encourage you to not get so caught up on semantics, because everybody believes something different, and my personal beliefs are my personal beliefs. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not here to convert anybody. I am just here to share the work. And so if you're also one of those types of people that get caught up on God versus the universe and source energy versus God, you know what? You should go find somebody else to watch too, with all due respect. And so now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into it. And so Julia talks about the importance of creative living. For any creative that's out there that's listening to this, you know, whether you're an artist, you write, a songwriter, a poet, a painter, you know that it's not just about the thing that you create, but creatives are creative beings. So we're creative in every aspect. You see it in the way that we do our hair, the way that we dress, the nails that we wear or don't wear, the jewelry that we choose, the places that we choose to go, the colors we like. You know, being a creative person, it is just in everything that we do. It comes out in our home decor. It comes out in the kinds of cars that we drive. You know, this book and this journey is about living creatively. It's not just about the work that you produce. So I'm gonna read a quick little excerpt from the introduction that says, spiritual electricity, the basic principles. So for most of us, the idea that the Creator encourages creativity is a radical thought. We don't tend to think, or at least fear, that creative dreams are egotistical, something that God wouldn't approve of us. After all, our creative artist is an inner youngster and prone to childish thinking. If our mom or dad express doubt or disapproval for our creative dreams, we may project that same attitude onto a parental guide. This thinking must be undone. And so she likes to refer to the beginning process as spiritual chiropractic. So it's an opportunity to take a moment to unlearn all of the things that you think that you know about creativity. And she opens the book with the basic principles, and I'll go over them for you. Number 1, creativity is the natural order to life. Life is energy, pure creative energy. Number 2, there is an underlying indwelling creative force infusing all of life, including ourselves. Number 3, when we open ourselves to our creativity, we open ourselves to the Creator's creativity within us and our lives. Number 4, we are ourselves creations, and we in turn are meant to continue creativity by being creative ourselves. Number 5 is my absolute favorite. Creativity is God's gift to us. Using our creativity is our gift back to God. Number 6, the refusal of being creative is the self-will and is counter to our true nature. Number 7, when we open ourselves to exploring our creativity, we open ourselves up to God, good, orderly direction. Number 8, as we offer our creative channel to the Creator, many gentle but powerful changes are to be expected. Number 9, it's safer to open ourselves up to greater and greater creativity. And last but not least, number 10, our creative dreams and yearnings come from a divine source. As we move towards our dreams, we move towards divinity. Julia Cameron suggests that creatives live an artistic life. And the thing about living an artistic life is it's never done. We always want to create. We always want to try something new. It's important to remember that frustrations and rewards literally happen at every level of the journey. The goal of this book is to just kind of find your footing and actually get started on the journey and build up the endurance to keep going. So how do you know if you're even blocked creatively? Well, she suggests that jealousy is typically the first indicator. Are there artists or other creatives, content creators that you're a little bit envious of? Do you find yourself thinking, well, how come they get to do it? Or how come they got that brand deal? Or why does it seem like she's always going somewhere taking pictures? Or why does it seem like he's getting more notoriety than me? If you ever feel that way, chances are your creativity is blocked. And you over there being a hater for no reason. You have to first stop telling yourself that it's too late to get things done, that things won't work out for you, that your dreams don't matter, that you're afraid of what your family and your friends are gonna think. Listen, if we had to wait for everybody else to catch up to the things that we see in our mind, baby, we'll be waiting forever. And please stop telling yourself that creativity is a luxury and to be grateful for what you have. The desire to want more is simply life and God trying to continue to express itself through you. There's nothing egotistical about wanting more or trying more things. Wherever you got that rhetoric from, you have to dismiss it because it's more than likely one of the things that's subconsciously blocking you from moving forward. Now we're gonna get into the basic tools that she talks about in the introduction, and I'm gonna encourage you, shameless plug, if you haven't already, get yourself a journal on paper Where Thoughts Become Things is still available on Amazon. You can get yourself a journal, or you can get anybody's journal, but you're gonna need something to write down, because the first basic tool that Julia Cameron talks about in The Artist's Way is the morning pages. And the morning pages is something that, baby, I have struggled with. I ain't even gonna hold you, but I did mine this morning. I said, I'm starting off fresh, you heard me? So the morning pages are just, I personally don't even like calling them morning pages. I call them your brain dump. You want to dedicate time as soon as you wake up in the morning to have a notebook near your bedside or in the bed with you, whatever is easier for you, and you just want to go to town. Whatever is coming to mind as soon as you wake up. I mean, crust in your eyes, haven't brushed your teeth yet, foot haven't hit the floor. Turn that lamp on and get to writing. And a lot of times for me, I'm a very vivid dreamer. So a lot of my morning pages typically revolve around whatever my dream was about the night before or as I was waking up. But sometimes it looks like the motherfucking grocery list that I needed to make, or things that I forgot to do yesterday that I wanted to do, that I need to do today. The morning pages is just an opportunity for you to completely dump everything out of your brain, and you want to be able to get into the habit of creating energetic space within your mind so that your creativity can flow through to you. A lot of the times when it comes to problem solving or figuring out the next move in our businesses and our artistry, it's clouded by all of the regular, degular, humbuggish ass shit that we get bogged down with. And one of our biggest problems as a society, myself included, is checking that motherfucking phone as soon as you get up in the morning. Listen, I know that the religious people are gonna tell you need to pray, and spiritual people might tell you you need to meditate. The Artist's Way is gonna tell you need to write first. The first thing you need to do is just write. And it could be used as a form of prayer, or it could be used as a form of meditation. But it also could be used to just dump your frustrations from the night before, from an argument that you had with your ex that you just couldn't get all your words out, and that was the reason why you couldn't go to bed last night. But I'm not telling my life. Every day you want to write at least 3 pages in your journal just to brain dump. Some people prefer to grab a cup of coffee and get on their computer. You might want to write it in your notes, whatever. The whole point is to just get into the habit of becoming consistent with your morning pages so you can kind of brain dump and get the creative juices flowing. I know it sounds like a hassle, it sounds like a little bit of a chore, but you have to begin to change your mind and understand, in order to unblock yourself creatively, you have to unclog all of those unnecessary thoughts that are taking up space in order for you to get your next move, in order for you to get your next inspiration. It's actually through the morning pages that I was even able to come up with the idea for this podcast, that I came up with the idea for my ebook for Just Ask the G.O.A.T. Also link in the bio. But you know, a lot of the times we don't realize as creatives, we have, I mean, for me personally, I get ideas all day long, and I'm not always in a space where I remember to write it down in the moment. And so a lot of the times, the morning pages, when it's early and it's quiet, I wake up at like 5 a.m. So before kids wake up or the dog gets to barking, it's a moment for me to just kind of come back to self and remember all of those things that I might have forgotten to say to myself. The thing about working your relationship with your creativity, or any relationship for that matter, is you have to intentionally set the time. You have to set the time with yourself to grow your relationship with your creativity. Which brings me into my next basic tool that Julia Cameron talks about in The Artist's Way, and that is the artist date. Julia suggests that every artist take at least 2 hours once a week of intentional, independent time to do something creative. I mean, the key to the artist date is self-play. It is your imagination. And so think back to all of the things that you used to like to do when you were a little kid. It could be taking a walk in the park and hopping on the swing. And yes, my 37-year-old ass will get on a swing and push a kid out the way to get on one too. Seriously, you have to kind of tap into all of the things that excite you again. It's so easy to find yourself giving so much of your time away to your job, your spouse, your children, the dog, your friends. But I want you to take intentional time once a week to really connect back with your inner artist. Go out for a walk, go out to a museum, go and see a show, go to a concert, and you do this by yourself. And listen, you have to uphold this personal time and regard it as something sacred, because everything else is pulling at our attention. And so this is time that you want to just spend with yourself. I actually think I have a clip from my first artist date that I went on that I'd like to share with you guys. I'll see if I can add it in. I was living in South Fulton, Georgia, and I decided to take a ride to Marietta. I got some ice cream. I ended up going into this vintage candy store that had all of these vintage candies. I ended up buying my Bob Ross socks, and I got like this really cool bulldog button. And I got rock candy. I don't think I've even eaten those since I was in like elementary school. And it was just the perfect day. And most recently, I went on an artist date last Thursday. I took a stroll down Magazine Street, ended up popping in an artist gallery. I went into this little antique shop. I stopped and got some wine and popcorn, and I actually even wrote a poem while I was sitting outside. And I'm telling you, it sounds so freaking, it sounds so simple and like, oh, that doesn't work, but you have no idea. Creatives and artists need space just to be. Like, we need a moment to take a beat from the everyday humdrum of life. We need to take a break from a baby being on our titty. We need to take a break from that man and all of his BS, or that woman and all of her BS. And you just need to really enjoy life. The mind of a creative is so beautiful. The mind of an artist is so beautiful because we see things that other people just don't see. But we'll never get a chance to see those things if we don't intentionally take the time to go and look. I had such a good time on Thursday walking down Magazine Street. Oh yeah, I went to Lush Cosmetics too. I ended up getting bath bombs and all kinds of stuff. And here's the thing about the artist date. You don't even necessarily have to spend any money. The point is to just be intentional about spending time with yourself, listening to the things around you, feeling the weather around you, paying attention to color and sound, and all of those things that will trigger a memory or allow your mind to just open up in a way that you wouldn't allow it to open up if you were just going through life doing the same regular thing. And even though Julia Cameron doesn't really mention it in the introduction, I would like to just add, for your artist date, sometimes it looks like following those intuitive nudges as well. If you're on your way home from work and you happen to get off a little early and something tells you to make a left over here, well, make the left. Make the left and go and see what's going on. Or if you see a flyer and you may not normally want to go to I don't know, an outdoor crawfish boil or something, just go. You never know what is on the other side of that. And here's the thing about being an artist and a creative. The return isn't always immediate, but every time you take time to be intentional about spending the time with your inner artist, it's purposeful and it will be useful at some point. And it's like going back and hugging, like for me, it's like going back and hugging little 6-year-old Neira, little 7-year-old Neira. And I personally can say that, and I kind of mentioned it in last week's podcast, as an artist, as a creative, we can sometimes be so hard on ourselves. But I want you to take a moment, and if you have a favorite picture of you when you were a kid, or a favorite memory, I want you to just like take a moment today and go back and think about what they looked like when they were little and innocent and just had this love for life. And I just want you to go back and hug that little person. And remember that as adults, as a creative adult, it is our job to always and never forget or neglect that little version of us, and to always go back and nurture it in whatever way that we can. I'm super excited. That's all we're gonna go over today. But I encourage you all to go and get a copy of The Artist Way. You still have some time before we get into week one. Week one, we'll be talking about recovering a sense of safety as an artist. Week two, recovering your sense of identity as an artist. Number three, recovering your sense of power as an artist. Week 4, recovering your sense of integrity. Week 5, recovering your sense of possibility. Week 6, recovering your sense of abundance. Week 7, recovering your sense of connection. Week 8, recovering your sense of strength. Week 9, recovering your sense of compassion. Week 10, recovering your sense of self-protection. Week 11, recovering your sense of autonomy. And week 12, recovering your sense of faith. Many artists and creatives get this book and they never make it through all 12 weeks. And I can say that I got this book 2 years ago, well shit, 3 years ago, and I made it to week 11. So it is a challenge to myself and a challenge to you guys to make it all the way to week 12. Each week is deep, you know, and it's gonna take you some time. I'm not even gonna lie. You are going to have to dig deep into some of your past memories, past traumas. It gets down in there, the psyche, which I think is the reason why a lot of people don't finish, because it requires a lot of work. It requires a lot of work. That's the thing about this human experience, and also this thing as an artist. A lot of the times we don't realize there's a lot of things that we've gone through in our journey, in our life, that are the things that are standing in the way of our greatest success. But if you're locked in and you genuinely want to change, I'm going to encourage you and myself to stay true and to stay committed. And so before we go, I would like to go over the artist contract. And so you see, I actually signed mine already. You probably can't see because of the glare, but I'm going to renew my artist contract today with you guys. So it says, I, insert your name here, I, Neira, understand that I am undertaking an intensive guided encounter with my own creativity. I commit myself to a 12-week duration of the course. I, insert your name, I, Neira, commit to weekly reading, daily morning pages, a weekly artist date, and the fulfillment of each week's task. I, insert your name, I, Neira, further understand that this course will raise issues and emotions for me to deal with, and I, insert your name, I, Neira, commit myself to excellent self-care, adequate sleep, diet, exercise, and pampering for the duration of this course. Guys, I think that for many of us, life is calling us to the next level. And in order to get there, sometimes we got to tie up the loose ends of all the shit that we've been through before. So if you are interested in embarking on this journey with me and with the rest of the collective, go ahead and get your copy of The Artist's Way from Amazon or wherever you choose to get it. And follow along, guys. I'm super excited. As I always tell you guys, go forth, be great. Always remember what you're seeking is seeking you too. And happy manifesting.
Hey peeps, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. I hope that you were able to find a jewel that you can keep with you every day or put it in your back pocket for a later date. If there are any topics that you'd like for me to discuss on the podcast, please feel free to shoot me an email to neirathegoat@gmail.com. Remember to like this episode, share it with a friend, leave a comment, give it a rating, whatever floats your boat. Go forth, be great. Always remember, what you're seeking is seeking you too, and everything that you need is already within you. So go within.